Hello, everyone. Good day and welcome to One Global Movement, Building Hopes and Dreams, where we have decided before God and man that we are going to commune here together, build a community that it's going to help children, young people, and women to eradicate hunger, illiteracy, poverty, and all other challenges that they face worldwide. There has never been a time more than now, today, right at this moment, that calls on all of us to come together to really help this population in the world because they are actually going through a whole lot that we don't know if you don't know. And so it is a call to action to each and every one of us here to come together to do this. But before we continue, as usual, at least the way that I was raised, and I know that a lot of us here were raised that way, is to really dedicate everything that we are doing in our lives into the one that created us. Because without the creator of the universe, you and I would not be here today. Without that same creator, Mr. Ash Mufara would not have brought us here together. So in whatever way you want, we want to be able to say something. You can say your own, whatever you admire, whatever you focus on, that is still a good thing. So let us give thanks to the one that created us. Divine source of life, love, and light. We come before you today, O Lord, with heavy hearts and deep hope. We lift up our prayers for the world's most vulnerable, the women, children, and young people, displaced, suffering, and dying each day due to the devastations of war. In this moment, we call upon you to surround them with your infinite protection, guidance, and grace. And talking about war, it is not just the killing with the sword or the gun or something. There are a lot of wars that women, children, and young people are fighting in the world, which we all know because we are all surrounded by those things. But it becomes so worst, it becomes so painful when you have to love and then you lost unnecessarily, and that hurts even more than anything else. So we ask you, Lord, that you awaken the hearts of world leaders to the urgent need for peace, unity, and justice. May they be inspired by the truth that all humanity shares in one sacred journey and that no one is greater than the other. Help them see beyond borders, differences, and conflict, and instead build a pathway or pathways for reconciliation, love, and shared dignity for all, beginning with these children, women, and young people. Even our older population, they don't have the strength to even run, and they are dying of hunger. Let the cries of the displaced echo across the world as a reminder of our collective responsibility to protect the most innocent and vulnerable among us. May your spirit, O Lord, stir the hearts of those in power to act not out of fear, but out of compassion and courage, ensuring that every child, every mother, and every young person has a home, a future, food to eat, and the opportunity to live in peace and dignity. And when I say world leaders, we are all leaders in our own capacity, Lord. You know that because you gave us that mandate, because you assigned us to go into the world and be stewards to these precious little ones. And in that regard, you also ask us to take care and respect the old, Lord, the sick, the weak, and we are here in one global movement to do just that. We pray, Lord, for healing, healing from the inside out, for restoration, restoring the good values of life, and for a new day where all people, especially those caught in the web of conflict, can rise with hope, security, and the unshakable knowledge that they are loved and valued. We offer this prayer in the name of unity, compassion, empathy, and the sacred movement to uplift every soul. These we bring to your feet. Amen. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to these. And you want to thank one another because when you offer those prayers, you are really, really affecting the lives of many. You know, it's not just for me. Whatever you offer is also going to affect me. Whatever it says I want offer, it's also going to affect me and or every other person here. So building this community is very important, especially as Mr. Ashmufara brought us together because he knew what is going on around the world, and we have to continue to do what we are doing for the betterment of those that are most vulnerable. And I also ask that keep doing what you're doing, keep rising higher and higher, and whatever endeavor that you have, or at work, or your business, or in school, or whatever you're doing, do not give up. Don't wait for no one. Life waits for no one. A minute gone can never be recalled. If we are waiting for Mr. Ashmufara, we should wait by action. It is that action that is going to really push him to do the best thing. If you just sit and wait, guess what? Your mind, remember, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. If you're
Mm-hmm.
not doing good things, you just sit and you're waiting for something that you are not contributing to see that it comes to light, then you will be wasting your time. Before you know, some kind of negative things or things will be getting into your brain that are not good. Because I always say, you know, we are here together because of him. And I think no matter what we do in life, whether it is business, whether it is school, whatever, human resource is number one. It is at the center. And so
Mm-hmm.
if he brought us here together, we need to leverage this togetherness to achieve whatever that God has called us to do. Leverage it. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep working. Keep saving. Keep thinking higher. Keep building on your goals and your dreams. Don't just wait. Because when you wait, then you will miss out on a lot of things. But when you keep building, no matter how little, put in some effort every day, even if it is to plan, even if it's to restructure, or even maybe it is trying a new strategy, or maybe it's attending webinars, conferences, attending something. Don't just sit. Because when you sit now, you turn to things that will not serve you well. So that when
Mm-hmm.
it does come along, then we know that it will be so easy for us to do the things that we need to do. And even if it doesn't come, then you know that you built it. He built you. He brought us together to build something, but it will come at God's appointed time. If we put that
Mm-hmm.
in mind, that would be a very beautiful thing to do. So we are in the Mantle of Hope Revolution Part 304, celebrating Black History Month forever, the role of women in building economically resilient communities. When I say celebrating Black History Month forever, it shouldn't just be a month, it should be celebrating it every day. Every day, just like we are celebrating other histories, it should be about you looking into the things that Black people have done to the world, the great things, the legends, the legacies that they've left behind, and bring them to the surface. And we talk about them, we quote them in our writings, in our speeches, we talk about them to our children, just like we are talking about the other things. This is a true way of bringing love, unity, and reconciliation by talking about, and also even those that hurt people, we still talk about them in good terms,
Mm-hmm.
because hurting people will hurt other people, and some people they don't know, and we don't even know under what circumstances that they were misbehaving. But it's only God alone who knows. But it's our responsibility to not just only celebrate Black history, but also celebrate other histories around the world. And bringing these things together is a way of teaching children that every child matters, that every child is included, that every child has a choice. If we don't do that, then we are wasting time here. And for me, that's what I do. That's why I take care of children, regardless whether they are Black children or they are red children, they are pink children, they are peach. I do the same thing. Because when you do that, you're investing in yourself. You're not just only investing in these children. So that is so important that we do that. So I was just going to give one quote, then I'll give the stage to our beautiful sister, because this is her day. And we want to just hear what she has to say, not just hearing, but also taking down points. Because when you don't write down things, you forget. Remember, Habakkuk 2:2 says, write it down. and we write
Mm.
it down so that we can also discuss it with our children. This is very, very important. So celebration of Black History Month align with the One Global Movement mission statement of uplifting women, children, and young people by defeating hunger, illiteracy, poverty through unity and divine intervention. Education is the bridge from history to destiny. We know that. We can't feed our children without educating them on how to feed themselves. One Global Movement carries the torch of Black excellence, ensuring every child has the knowledge to create a brighter tomorrow. And Black excellence cannot exist in a vacuum without other excellencies. We know that these things come together for a reason, because we are not an island upon ourselves. The Black
Mm.
people out there, you are not island upon yourself. We have to work in collaboration with one another, but working so with divine intervention. Because if you know who you are, whose you are, and why you were even born and giving that gift, then you will want to do the right thing. Even for the person that hurts you, you want to do the right thing because you're only doing it for yourself. So the dream
Mhm.
of freedom and equality is alive in hearts of those who dare to change the world. Are you changing the world? Do you question yourself? What have I done? That if I were to be called home today, what have I done to change the world? So One Global
Mhm.
Movement honors Black history by ensuring no child is left behind in hunger, in ignorance, or in sheer poverty. Black history teaches us that greatness is born from perseverance. We know the history of the Black people. They've persevered. The history of perseverance, history of resilience, history of forgiveness. One Global Movement stands firm in its mission to turn struggles into stepping stones and pain into power. From the voices of the past to the change makers of today. We hear them in songs, we hear them in writings, even the forgotten ones. We're beginning to see them resurface now. So One Global Movement echoes the call for unity, justice, and transformation, because we are stronger together when we rise together. So, Black History Month is a celebration of resilience, a testimony of hope, and a call to action. One Global Movement honors the past by building a future where hunger, illiteracy, and poverty are defeated for all. How do you do that? By taking action today. And when you take that action, be patient, and be prayerful. Nurture whatever that you're doing. Don't just do it and leave it there. If you don't nurture it, is not going to do well. So we start today by planting a seed, just one in one child, and that child will sprout out in many directions, because that's a child that has the potential to grow. That child will then hold two hands, three hands, why not four? And we continue to do like that. We'll see that the ripple effect is humongous. So the legacy of Black history is written in courage, wisdom, and the power of community. One Global Movement stands to ensure that every child, every woman, and young person has the freedom to
One
dream.
moment, one moment, sister. I sorry to interrupt you, but could you please take a look at what this person is in the chat? I can't remove them, but you can, please.
What is the name?
ADOS, ADOS. I'm not sure what the intention is for these comments, but I don't want to sit here and figure it out. So just let them
Okay,
go
I will do
away.
that. We don't need that here for our
Let them
children.
go away, and when we can figure out what they're saying. But I think John is not available, so I yes, please go ahead and remove them.
Let me
AD
see. Ada,
ADOS ADOS.
ADOS. Let me see. Okay, okay. All right.
Please block them because
Yes,
they're
yes,
yeah,
yes. I will
okay.
do that right now. Put user in. Ban user. Yes, I've done that. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for putting an eye. This is what it takes when we are helping children. This is what it takes. We got to pay attention, and
We have
that's
to be
what you have
very
been doing since I
vigilant,
want. Thank you
very
so much.
vigilant because
Very vigilant, because if we are trying to help them away from their struggles that they're already struggling with, we must also pay attention to what we do, what we say, how we act, how we smile, how we dress up. Everything needs to be paid attention to. So
and
thank you
what
so
we
much.
allow into their lives because
Yes,
we're the buffer. We are responsible for what
yes,
how they
yes.
yeah.
Yes, and we don't. Yes, we don't allow those. And Mr. Ashman Father didn't bring us together for this at all. Not at all.
No, he did not. people should go with their opinions where it's wanted. It's not wanted here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. One Global Movement stands to ensure that every child, woman, and young person has the freedom to dream, learn, and rise above their storms or even higher when they are even succeeding. So, from the roots of struggles grew the fruits of triumph. Because, and we all know, you cannot really grow when you don't go through some challenges. So, One Global Movement believes that when we uplift one, we uplift all, because true freedom is found in empowering every generation, regardless of where you are, where you were born. Regardless, we have to uplift every child. So Black history is not just a story of the past. No, it's not. We all know that. We know the origin of humanity. If we don't know, we can ask, we can read. It's God who made it that way. It is a roadmap to a future of justice, opportunity, and dignity for all. So, One Global Movement is here to break barriers and build legacies that will then build happiness, well being of all our children and women. And therefore, if you help one child, you help one woman, then you have helped the whole society, helped the whole nation, you've helped the entire world. This is what we want. We want children to feel that they belong, that that they have choices, that they were created for greatness, that they can do anything when if they put their mind to it, but they can't do it without you and I doing the right thing. Just see in the chat, somebody comes and they want to disrupt the flow of this. That's not what we want here. If you are going through some challenges, step out and only come back here when you can do better. That's what we want for everyone here. So, sister, I am going to give you the stage while I also turn my phone down here because my phone is making a lot of noise.
Okay, thank you, sister. So
Yes,
today is also the day when we read what our intentions are and what our mission is here on One Global Movement.
of
And one
course.
thing I want to address is how you insisted that don't just sit around idly waiting, because first of all, it's not good, and it doesn't serve any purpose, and it's not even good for your mental health. I like a little quote by, I think it's Nisa Nichols, and well, it's attributed to her, but it says, "Action is the antidote for depression, right?
Mhm.
Despair. Because when you
Yes,
sit around doing nothing, you see nothing happen, you can sink into despair." And she says it's also a prescription for success, because
mhm.
success doesn't happen without some action. So even steps that are going to be missteps, even if you're going
Yes,
to call them failure or falling or whatever, you can learn something from those. So just do something good for
yes,
yourself or for others. Always be doing something, right? So
right.
anyway, so now we go with the vision and mission statement of One Global Movement, which is OGM. One Global Movement will support any organization, group, or individual that aligns with its global vision and mission, which is as follows. The mission of One Global Movement is to empower young people, children, and women worldwide with a focus on young women, providing them with tools, sustainable solutions that will help them to eradicate hunger, illiteracy, and poverty, and to build generational wealth while living a life of leadership and purpose. We believe that every child deserves access to nutritious food, quality education, and opportunities to thrive. Through global collaborative efforts, innovative programs, and community engagement programs, we strive to break the cycle of hunger, illiteracy, poverty, and build a future where every child can build on their hopes and dreams while reaching their full potential. Together, through divine intervention, love, and clean, safe, and valuable technology, we can create such a world where no child goes to bed hungry, no child is denied an education, and no child is limited to poverty or to any condition that is not of their own making. It is possible. Our great, our great gratitude and tribute goes always to Mr. Ashmufara for bringing this world family together for the purpose of providing solutions to all sectors of the global economy, beginning with our children. Thank you, Mr. Mufara, and all the Unpassive Building team. We love you and we wish you well. And
Thank
that
you.
is the vision and mission of our One Global Movement.
Thank you so
There we
much.
go. So today, I have the pleasure of speaking with you again.
Yes.
Greetings, everyone. And so today's discussion, I love how you phrase this. It says, celebrating Black history for life. I've always had a problem with Black History Month because history did not start in the USA with us being slaves.
Mhm.
Our history came from a long, long way off,
Yes.
right? We are intertwined with history of everybody, just like
Mhm.
anybody else. History, how can history be just celebrated in 1 month for a certain kind of people? That is ridiculous. We can't.
Yeah. No, we cannot.
Today, we are tackling the role of women in building economically resilient communities. And first of all, what does that mean? Economically resilient communities are places that can create economic opportunities while maintaining community stability. The two go hand in hand. Somebody can't just come in and start building and setting up stuff that has nothing to do with the community. This is
Mhm.
what we're talking about. So they do this by balancing the needs of the economy, the environment, and the people. And the people. The people come first. Here are economically resilient. How are they built? Planning. So the using of participatory planning.
Mhm.
Everybody's involved. It's a community to
Mhm.
address community needs. Diversification, spreading out income sources to reduce risk. So they're proactive. They see where all the money should go. It's just like in your house, how you
Mhm.
spend your money, your budget.
Mhm.
Investment, investing in resilience to reduce disaster impacts. Proactive policy making, promoting and good policies and best practices, innovation, using innovative community planning to address issues like climate change and housing and other issues. It must be sustainable. Sustainability, addressing issues of sustainability, inclusion, and social justice. What are the benefits of an economically resilient community? Lower economic costs, fewer job losses, people stay there where they belong. They don't have to go all over the place looking for work. Reduced in population decline, people want to have children and they see a future. Higher income, faster recovery times, improved public health, including mental health, reduced greenhouse gas emissions, and a more vibrant and prosperous downtowns. If you want to know if a community is dying, check the downtown and see what's happening down there. When people start leaving it, it becomes a ghost town at night. Nobody goes there. That's not a resilient community. The
Mhm.
challenges. Economically resilient communities can face challenges from natural disasters, from human caused disruptions, and other environmental, economic, cultural, or social challenges. So it takes a multi pronged effort to sustain or to even create an economically resilient communities. And of course, women are a big part of that, right? Today, we are celebrating Black history for life, not just a moment in time, but as a continuous legacy, one that is still being written. Our discussion today centers on the role of women, especially Black women, in building economically resilient communities. And when we talk about economic resilience, we mean the ability of a community to withstand shock, to
Mhm.
adapt to change, and to continue to thrive in spite of those things. At the heart of this resilience, we find the contributions of women.
Mhm.
And we're not just talking about Black women today, right? The backbone of economics, the role of women worldwide have long been the silent architects of economic stability. They have built families, shaped education, fueled entrepreneurship, and driven social change. Research shows that when women have access to economic opportunities, entire communities flourish. Women reinvest up to 90% of their income back into the families and communities. 90%. This is one of the reasons I love that organization I keep telling you about, Kiva. When you
Mhm.
lend women money to do things, they turn it around quickly, they pay back, and then they go forward. They build, compared to 30 to 40% for men. This reinvestment strengthens education, healthcare, and overall community well being. Black women, champions of economic resilience. For Black women, the journey has been one of resilience and innovation, despite systemic barriers, whether economic, political, or social. Black women have continuously found ways to uplift their families and communities. And so let's explore three of these who are really powerful in doing that. Entrepreneur, Entrepreneurship and business leadership. Black women are among the fastest growing groups of entrepreneurs worldwide. In the US, Black women owned businesses have grown by nearly 50% in recent years, outpacing all other demographic groups. In Africa, women entrepreneurs drive 58% of small and medium enterprises,
Mm-hmm.
significantly contributing to the continent's GDP,
Yeah.
gross domestic whatever. Examples: Madam C. J. Walker was the first self made millionaire in the US, built an empire in the beauty industry. He's Black, of course. I'm saying these are Black women I'm talking about. Today, modern entrepreneurs like Bozama St. John, a global marketing executive, and Mo Abudu, a media powerhouse in Nigeria, are breaking barriers. Community organizing and advocacy. Black women have historically led grassroots movements that shape economic policies for labor rights, from labor rights to social justice. Example, women like Fannie Lou Hamer fought for voting rights, understanding that political participation is key to economic empowerment. If you're not there, you can't be part of the decision.
Mm-hmm.
Today, leaders like Stacey Abrams continue this legacy by pushing for economic equity through policy and advocacy. So we also believe, because we're women, in collaboration. We know that one person can't do it. That would be not a democracy. It would not. It would be a dictatorship. So they strongly believe in advocacy and collaboration. And then in the field on the area of education and mentorship, education has always, always, always been a pathway to economic empowerment. And Black women have been fierce advocates for learning. Example, Dr. Wangari Maathai. I mentioned her last time I spoke, I believe. The
Mm-hmm.
Kenyan environmentalist and Nobel laureate empowered rural women through sustainable economic practices. And in the US, educators like Dr. Ruth Simmons or Simons, the first Black president of what they call an Ivy League university. I don't really like that term, but she's the first president of that kind of university, very high end, have paved the way for future generations. And then
Mm-hmm.
in the Bible, there are so many women in
Yes.
biblical times also played key roles in the economy. So lest you think it's just modern women and blah, blah, blah. No. Women have been in all societies very strong builders and demonstrating their resilience and leadership in various industries. Lydia, in Acts 16, one of the books in the Bible, the New Testament. She was a wealthy merchant of purple cloth, which was very, very expensive. Lydia was an independent businesswoman, and she also supported the Christian movement because those men had given up their jobs to go and be a disciple of Christ, so they weren't making any money. So the women were the ones who were supporting them,
Yeah.
making their own money. And
Yeah.
then the woman in Proverbs, a model of economic strength. She engaged in trade, invested in land, and she managed a workforce. Okay. Then
Mm-hmm.
there's Priscilla. She was a tent maker alongside her husband. Priscilla was a businesswoman and a teacher of the faith. And Ruth worked in the fields to provide for herself and her mother in law, demonstrating perseverance and resourcefulness. Then there's Deborah, a judge and prophetess. She played a leadership role that influenced economic and political stability. The widow of Zarephath, and I could go on, right? The women supported Jesus. Women like Mary Magdalene and Joanna provided financial support to Jesus and his disciples, showing that they were economically participating in sending out this religion. These, these women, these examples show that women, including Black women today, have always been economic drivers. Always. It's not a new thing.
Mm-hmm.
Shaping economics and shaping communities through entrepreneurship, trade, and leadership. And it's funny, I've heard a little saying all the time how far a woman can stretch a dollar. You know, it's like they multiply it when they
Mm-hmm.
get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
also, women believe that necessity is the mother of invention. They find ways of making things happen and work, right? They multi-thinkers, multitaskers, challenges and paths forward. While progress is undeniable, challenges still remain. Access to capital, that's one big thing. Access to capital. Despite being at the forefront of business creation, Black women especially face significant challenges in securing funding and investment.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's why I love that Kiva, because they don't care about what this is. Wage gaps. Black women earn on average less than their white and male counterpart for the same work. They still do. That still happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Work-life balance. The dual burden of caregiving, and economic responsibility weighs heavily on many women, right? So we work out there in the society and we come home and the job still goes on. To address these challenges, we must advocate for policies that support financial inclusion, invest in education, and ensure equal pay. We must celebrate and support women led businesses and community initiatives. So, my call to action for all of us celebrating Black history means celebrating the resilience, the ingenuity, and the impact of Black women. It is not enough to recognize history once in a while. We must also actively contribute to the future. So, I leave you with this challenge: support women entrepreneurs, advocate for policies that promote gender and racial equality, educate and mentor the next generation of women leaders. So, as we celebrate Black History for Life, let us remember that women, when we uplift them, we uplift the entire community. Resilience can be cultivated by applying the principles of the seven C's. It says competence, confidence, connection, character, contribution, coping, and control. And I'd like to add collaboration. But women
Yes.
do it all. Thank you for
Yep.
listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am really so appreciative because, you know, celebrating Black women for building economically resilient societies. Women.
Yeah.
We
Women.
talk with women in general. We are focusing on Black women, but it's
But
not
it's
just
women
Black
today.
women. They
Yeah.
are all
Yeah.
women. But why we focus on Black women is because when you have people that have been oppressed, people that have been relegated to the backwaters of life, or when you have, say, 5 children at home and one
Mhm.
child is having a problem, who do you focus more on?
I know.
You
I
focus on
know.
the child that is having a problem. So we are
Yes.
coming out from that background. It's just like we are here, we're helping children. When you go to a home where one child is finding difficulties to read than the other ones, and you know what that means to that child that cannot read like the others, the
Yeah.
child will look low upon himself, depending on how they're even treating that child. Even if they even treat that child well, he will still
Mm-hmm.
not understand, why can't I read like the others? And
Mm-hmm.
the child will be focusing on why can't I read, instead of saying, I am going to try to read. So
Mm-hmm.
we focus on a certain population because this is the time. It shouldn't just be this time, like you
No.
said. It should be for
No.
all the time, because
Yes.
women are the silent builders and the silent whispers of every society. We know that from time immemorial. Sorry about that. From time immemorial, when in the case of this like war or maybe
Yes.
famine or maybe diseases,
Mm-hmm.
when, especially in the case of war, when most of the men are gone, who are those who are left behind? The women. The
Yep.
women becomes the resilient builders of the society. The women
Yeah.
become those that will build the society. In certain cases, the few men that are left, the few men. That's why when they talk about polygamy, polygamy in certain cases is not because you like to do that. It's because you have to act as a facilitator for procreation to bring other
Mm-hmm.
generations to come. So you now you find a few men that are in a position where they have to sleep with more than one woman. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
encouraging that, but in certain situations, that is just the way that it is. The men have to then be fathers of all the children that are left behind, and also
Mm-hmm.
have to be husbands to the women. So it happens. And you also think about the days of slavery, where some of the slaves were put in a place only to procreate, to give birth to farm hands. So
Mm-hmm.
in those situations too, which is not a good situation, but I'm just quoting examples here.
Yes, I
So
know.
women, it because we know our mothers. Our mothers, like you said, they multitask. They're doing
Yes.
one thing, they're thinking about the other. And mothers, most of the time, are those that raise the children. In my case, then the fathers will go out to be the breadwinners. But while the mother is not just raising the children, the mother is also doing something that
Sure.
is also bringing in some income So,
Yes.
women, we need to really, really give clapping hands to all women. Welcome, Esther. To all women, but more so focusing on Black women. Think about the Black women. Yeah, we're
Good.
good. Think about the Black women in the days of slavery, what they had to go through. You and I will perish in a moment because we can't take it. But we
Wow.
can. They were so resilient, they were determined. Because which mother will see the child? Have you ever seen like uh, 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 a mother hen that is guarding the chicken, the little
Yes. Yes.
babies,
Yes.
and then the hawk will come, the mother hen will fight with the hawk, no matter how big the hawk is.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is
Yes.
the way how resilient women can be. Our mothers are so resilient. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about myself. My mother never went to school, never knew how to read, but she was determined to educate me. And
I,
this is what we are talking about, because when you educate a child, the child will then educate others. We're talking
yes.
about coming home, closer to home, but we want
Yeah.
to really celebrate these women that they were never celebrated. They were relegated to the background. We want to bring them to light and continue to teach our children, because you cannot teach this history without teaching the other one. Then you are
No.
still relegating children, and therefore children of the whole world, to the backwaters of life, and that's not good for
Absolutely.
them. They will not grow up well. The
Yeah.
truth, it's important. No matter if the truth is against me, it's a good thing to let the children know, because the past, of course, the past is gone, forgiveness, but you can never
Yes.
forget about that history. Otherwise, you'll make the same mistake again. So we
Exactly.
want to be able to
Exactly.
teach the children the right thing. So women play a crucial role
Mm-hmm.
in building economically resilient communities, villages, particularly in the context of celebrating Black history, where we honor the contributors of Black women in shaping economic and social progress in the world,
Yes.
not only in North America, not only in Africa. Their influence spans across entrepreneurship, leadership, education, and advocacy. Remember that these women had children. When they were doing this, the children were seeing and they were teaching their children. Now there are about 10, 50 descendants of children that have descended, and they've done their part. Some are gone, some are still here, grand, great, great children. So we celebrate them all the time. If we don't do that, it means we are not celebrating our children all the time. So,
Yes. Yes.
so what are some of the key ways women have contributed to economic resilience? So many. I will start with my grandmother. My grandmother is a
Mm-hmm.
black. My grandmother and my mother, particularly my grandmother, this petite woman, she was everything. Everything. My grandfather was a police officer. My grandfather knew you don't play with this, no matter how. She was determined to train
Yeah.
all of us, particularly me, so that I can take over the family. Meaning, in my culture, I am the successor of my grandmother, you know. And so
Mm-hmm.
she had pineapple plantation, she had water leaf, vegetable plantation. She had everything. She had her money. She looked for it and she made sure that we were educated, and even recruiting Sunday school teachers to teach us the scripture, because that is our own book, textbook that
Mm-hmm.
us. And so when you hear me talking like this, doesn't mean that I'm so gospel, okay? I also do work. Not that, yes, it's just because of the way that I was treated. So entrepreneurship and business development is in every woman. A woman will take one thing and turn it into many. We know that.
Yes.
Into
Yes.
many. You give,
Yes.
you say, oh, I have just maybe $100 today for food. The woman will make that $100 last, stretch it out for 1 week, so that the
Yeah.
family will continue to feed. So women, particularly Black women, are among the fastest growing groups of entrepreneurs in the world. By
Yes.
creating businesses, they generate employment, they foster innovation, and strengthen local communities. I always say villages, because I come from that village setting. Their enterprises often reinvest in the community, creating circles of sustainable growth and development. You talk about all those women like from Kenya and other places, that's what they do. In the case of One Global Movement, we are the women here. What we are doing now is we are trying to the seeds program. We are doing working on the seeds program, so that when the planting season comes, guess what, instead of these women that are struggling to get the money to buy the seeds to plant, we can give them the seeds at a very minute cost. not to give them things for free. We don't want to teach people that things are for free. You have to do something in order to get something. So we are doing that
Yes.
program. So we are trying in those ways so that instead of them using that little money that they have, they can also invest it in something else and continue to grow and sustain themselves, their families, and their community. So we talk
Mhm.
about in those days of slavery, we talk about Madame C.J. Walker, 1867 to 1919, first self-made black female millionaire.
Melanie. Yes,
Yes,
yes, yes.
that's the very first one. So Madame Walker built a beauty empire with hair care. Okay, so when Megan is doing what she's doing, tomorrow they're going to be celebrating her. Beauty is such a beautiful, huge industry. Beauty care products tailored for Black women only. She became the first self-made female Black millionaire in America and a trailblazer for Black women in businesses. I would tell you, my mom and my grandmother, they were wealthy because they built plantations because we were made from the soil. They understood the biblical principle that onto the soil you were made and onto the soil you will go. We have to respect the soil because the soil is where our wealth comes from. What are you talking? I know we all love animals. I do love animals a lot. The animals, when you take care of the soil, you're taking care of the animal, you're taking care of water, you're taking care of the whole ecosystem. That is very, very important. You're not just doing it. So it's a call for all of us to do that. And these women, they did it. So we talk about Annie Tubo Mellon from 1877 to 1957. Beauty industry, again, is a beauty pioneer. That is very, very important. In modern day, I want to bring in Oprah Winfrey. Oprah, Oprah Winfrey, is still alive. She is a media billionaire, a media billionaire. So Oprah built a media empire starting with the Oprah Winfrey Show and later launched her own Oprah Winfrey Network. She is a philanthropist and one of the richest Black women in the world. And
Yep.
just so you know, she has a school in South Africa just for young girls. And I follow that school so closely. Just for
Yes.
young girls, she is raising Black leaders and
She is.
young girls that are determined to do the work. You're not just talking, you're doing
Mhm.
it. And that is a very great thing that Oprah is doing. We talk about,
Absolutely.
I can't talk without talking about Dr. Maya Angelou. I
Yes.
started studying her at a very young age. She, in the field of education, writing, and poetry, she has elevated a lot. And one of her poems that says, "But still I rise,"
Yes.
that no matter what you do to a child, a young woman, or to somebody, when they are determined to grow, they will still rise. And therefore,
Yes.
it's teaching us that there is no need to oppress any child. There's no need to oppress anybody. Let us seek to work together because there are so many ways that we can work together for the betterment of humanity. And I'm looking for this lady, the boss lady. I'm forgetting her name, that she fought on the bus, refused to give.
Rosa Parks. Rosa
Rosa,
Parks.
Rosa Parks was fighting for equality.
Mhm.
And during the bus ride, they said she should get up and give her seat to a Caucasian person. She said, no, no, I am a human being just like you. And she refused. She refused to do that. So she went through a lot, but she did it. And today we are reading about her. And then I was driving about 4 or 5 years ago, and I stopped at this place. I decided to drive Lyft so that I can get to more students and more children in the community. So I stopped at this place. It was written there. That name is not coming, but it's one of the Black women that contributed to uh, uh, oh, the name is coming, but it's not there. But I'm
Mhm.
like, this place belongs to her. Oh my God. I went in there. I wanted to talk to the people that are working there, and I did. So I took one of the books that I wrote, I took it there so that they can
Yes.
leave it there for people to read, which is something
Mhm.
that when I do, I'm going to really include her in some of those books. I just forgot her name. I don't know why. My brain doesn't think about sometimes. So that is such a beautiful thing. And we talk about Angela Davis. I think
Yes.
Angela Davis is still alive. a
She is.
political activist, a scholar, and author known for her work in civil rights, prison reform, and social justice. That is so important. And then
Mm-hmm.
we're going to talk about, I'm trying to look, Kamala Harris recently, right? Kamala
Mm-hmm.
Harris, the first Black and South Asian American woman to serve as Vice President of the United States, shaping policies on equity, justice, and economic empowerment. So those people, they did theirs, and now you see all of these ones are picking on what are you doing? What have you learned from these women that did marvelous things? And what are you building on that is helping you in your own endeavor is what we are talking about. You learn from them, you add your own on it, and then you teach your children, and then you teach other children in your community, and then we keep moving forward. So when you and I, because we're gonna go, that is inevitable. We're gonna go. And so, but one thing is for sure, before we go, what kind of legacy are we leaving? Well, let's talk about Michelle Obama. I read about Michelle Obama a lot. I bought her books. Michelle Obama, as First Lady, she advocated for education, health, and military family support, continuing her influence through initiatives like When We All Vote. When we all vote, that is people fulfilling your civil responsibility. Remember, she has two beautiful girls, but she also support young women so much. That's why I love her, because in doing that, she's also supporting me, because I was also in that place where young girls of today are. So it is so
Mm-hmm.
important when we talk about these women, we talk about all of them. These women, among many, many, many others. You just have to go to the library. You want to know something, so you know what you're doing. Go there and read, and let us interspice all of these women together, because when we come together, we build. These women, among others, have left lasting legacies in policy, activism, and advocacy, continuing to inspire change during Black History for life, not just Black History Month and beyond. Will you like examples of contemporary grassroots advocates as well? You give them in the chat so that we know the women in your mother. Did you think about your mother? Think about your mother. Write what your mother did in the chat. That's what we are talking about. We're not just going to look out there. You have to, first of all, look from within you. Remember, I started with my grandmother and my mother. That's where we start. And then we know how to appreciate these other women. But we want to thank all the Black women that have contributed to
Yes.
building the world through resilience, through power, through humility, and through the intervention of the divine. That is very important. So thank you so much, Esther. If you want to contribute, it's your turn.
Wow, that is a wonderful presentation, our sister, Dr. Yvonne.
No, it's she. She was her day. She presented it.
Oh,
It's Sister Yvonne's day.
Sister Yvonne presented.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah, you came when she had already really spoken, but you can go
that
back and watch it.
that
So
is
beautiful.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is a
Mm-hmm.
very interesting topic.
Mhm.
Yes.
There's actually no need reading books and uh, talking about what women did and what they did not do. The truth is, the women we are talking about, our mothers,
Mhm.
is us. Okay, what have we done in our families that we can celebrate about? Our husbands, our children's, they are the ones that can talk about all that every mother is doing in different homes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Black history is not just a month or a moment. It is a living celebration of the strength of women.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
that
Yes.
brings courage and change. They are change makers. All right,
Yep.
who have shaped and built economically resilient communities. These are what women are doing with vision and determination. So their contributions continue to inspire and empower generations to dream bigger and build stronger. We are not just celebrating Black women for all they have done, thinking that it's over. This is the starting. You know, we are remembering what they have done so that we can gear into that to
Mhm.
do more,
Yeah.
so that this will be a generational thing. It is
Yes.
not just celebrate them and that is it. We are borrowing a leaf from what
Mhm.
these other women have done.
Exactly.
Personally, I'm borrowing a leaf from what my parents have done. My
Mm-hmm.
mother, who is my mentor, everything my mother did on this earth before she passed on is the footstep I'm taking. If she did not lay a good foundation, I will not be where I am today. And I will have no need to remember their legacy to carry it along.
Right.
So all we are saying is, while we celebrate Black women, let us emulate and imitate all that have done to carry it forward so that the next generation, our children, our daughters, will take our footsteps to carry on to the world. So that's my little contribution to that.
Thank
Black
you so
women,
much. And in doing that, we shouldn't forget the mother of Mr. Ash Mufareh, because if she didn't give birth to Mr. Ash Mufareh and really nurture and loved and brought up the way she did with Mr. Ash Mufareh, we will not be here today. Because you can see the traces of great women in the world all the time and in our lives, because we are living the legacy of Mr. Ash Mufareh's mother, even though she's still alive too. But if not of that, we will not be here. And it's so important that we celebrate women, celebrate your sisters, celebrate your aunties, celebrate your nieces. Start very little. When they do little things, let us say something good about it, because the moment you say something good about it, they are going to do better. They will do better. And we start with our mothers, just like Sister Esther said. We start with your mother, and then you also celebrate your own self as a woman, because what your children are doing today, they're doing it as a result of the how you carry yourself in the world, how how you speak, how you dress, how what you eat. It comes from the inside. But number one, God created all women equal regardless, because we all have skills of one kind or the other. We all have gifts of one kind or the other. It is not enough to celebrate some women and not celebrate the others. Look at her sister Sharon. She's a woman thriving in business right there in Canada. A lot of other things are going on. And Sister Yvonne is there. She's thriving in a lot of other things, professional endeavor that she's helping the world without us even seeing. But it is there. That is the more reason why God brought us together here. But I want to celebrate two of you women and all the women here for the great job that you are doing to yourself, your families, especially children. And let us continue as women to support one another instead of going against one another. When we fight, we know that that fight is a good fight, and we come back together and we continue to rise. And I invite all the women here, all the women in Unpassive, and all the women in uh in one global movement, all the women in other organizations, that we must come together, because the world is beckoning for all of us to come together to do something. I say women because we are talking about women, but we cannot do without the men either. No, none can go without the other. So I am calling on all of us to come together so that we can build this thing, so that we can move into various homes and into the children also, even cheering them on as they write their projects, as they study, as they whatever is it that they're doing. It's not just when they're in problems. So when they are going to get married, we should be there for them, because we shouldn't just say a problem. No, we focus on the great things, because they've done some great things before they are at the point where they are. So we must celebrate those things and then continue to look for ways, because there are always ways for them to grow, unless we are not looking for it, or unless we didn't teach them to do that. So thank you guys so much. I know that I'm here with two powerful women always, and some of them, they might not be here, but I know that One Global Movement has resilient women that say, I will do it regardless, no matter what. That is the spirit. And I'm doing it. I'm sick. I don't always like to say that, but I am. This is the only thing that makes me happy. There is nothing that I can do without this one. Nothing. I don't know how to do any other thing but this one. And I thank God for giving me this space and time, and for giving me people like you and everybody else in the audience, and on Passive in particular. So thank you guys so much. Let us thank everyone here, acknowledging everyone, and thank you for always welcoming everyone here, Sister
yeah,
Yvonne.
before you do that, there's some women I would like to mention here, maybe at your own private time, if just to encourage yourself. You think of a woman called Madam C.J. Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Madam T.J. Walker happened to be the first self-made female millionaire. Okay, so this woman laid the foundation for generations of Black women in business. So
Yes.
it was through her that women got into business and they are flourishing now. And another person called Claudia Jones. This Claudia Jones is the Black woman who have been on the forefront lines of social change. So while we try to change the status quo for our young girls, so what we are doing is that we are looking at what this woman did in the past. So we are carrying her logo. So every other person should try to emulate what these past people have done and try to move forward to see what we can do on our own so that our
Yes.
children will take the legacy along.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. And Sir Abdul Sattar, thank you so much, sir, for coming back. We are always happy to have you here as support for our children. Thank you so much. And of course, this is today's topic. And let us always, when we are here, it's always a good thing to write. You see, when David comes here, David writes no matter what. And so, whatever you're writing, don't even think to say, oh, is it right? Or, but so long as you're writing a positive thing, that's the most important thing we want here because
Absolutely.
we all
Yes.
here we don't know. We just write or speak our way or take action, and then we'll correct ourselves as we go along. So don't be shy to write, okay? But absolutely, I thank you, Sister Yvonne, for putting an eye there so that we can remove some people that will come to pollute this place here.
Yes. Thanks.
And that's our link again. We're always liking that. If you're new here or you've not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. And turn on the notification bell and share these videos because this is how we educate. This is the rule of the day. Academy, this is the way it's going to be. So let's share these things with families. Those that don't know how to subscribe, they can do so. And then this is our Facebook link right there on the screen. You can go there and like it and follow. And also, maybe you want to help One Global Movement to go further, to get more resources for these children. You can also try to share it in all your social media platforms, or you say, I'm going to help 10 people to follow or like One Global Movement, whatever it is that you can do. This is the first steps that we can do as we move forward. Thank you. A strong woman understands that the gifts such as logic, decisiveness, and strength are just a feminine is just as feminine as intuition and emotional connection. When you say that, I think about Dr. Maya Angelou, who says, a woman in harmony. Hopefully, I know how to say that. A woman in harmony with nature is like a river flowing. She
Oh,
goes where she will and arrives at her destination prepared to be herself and only herself.
yeah.
That shows that I've been reading this since I was small. Otherwise, I won't know that. But that is what is called resilience. You know
Yes.
what you've been created to do, and you know what you're doing. You know your plans, and you're going to go there just like the water, just meandering, but they are going to somewhere. Not long, you can begin to see the traces of what that water has done, even though it is so calm. So, this is
Exactly.
very, very important. And this is the way that most women do things. And please let us give them the patience, let us encourage them. And if you see that a woman is being oppressed or suppressed, please help.
Yeah.
Jump in and help. And not just a woman, these young girls out there, especially
Yes. Any.
all of these
Yes.
things that they are
Absolutely.
going through. And the managing director is here, always saying hello to everyone and welcoming everyone to One Global Movement. Thank you so much, John. Yvonne Finn, hello, and thanks for putting all the information for,
For the folks in here.
for the folks
That's
here
okay,
that
John.
are joining us today. Yes, John. We were saying, what is John? John would have seen that thing quickly and get that
I
guy.
know. Yeah.
No, Yvonne, it's not a matter of repair, but of renovation of the building. But there is something weird that we still have no heat. We are reporting the landlord to the city. Well, John, thank God you're not in Minnesota because that would not be an option. You freeze to death very quick. Hello, Nancy. How are you, my beautiful sister and dancing queen? Thank you so much for joining us. And we wishing everyone, even though Friday is Valentine's Day.
Oh,
Put on your
yes.
reds. Put on some red here, some hearts, some red hearts if you can. And let's come here, or maybe a ribbon or something. Let's come here and wish our loved ones, even though we do that every day, but it's good to celebrate it here. So thank you so much,
Yeah.
Nancy. And we have Debendranath Singha. If you're new here, sir, you're welcome here. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We highly appreciate you. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and share and turn on the notification bell. Thank you. We have Suresh Kumar. How are you, sir? Thank you so much for being here with us today. If you're new, you're welcome to this global family that descended from Unpassive. Thank you so much. And we are going down. We have our brother, Shuji Jana. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us here today. We highly appreciate you and the work that you're doing for One Global Movement. Thank you. And we have Washim Saki. How are you? Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you for supporting children worldwide. Our little beautiful girl, Otam Papri, how are you? Thank you so much, Papri, for being with us here today. We appreciate you. And we have our sister, Sanjo Ashmira. How are you, sister? Happy New Year. Looks like we haven't seen you
Mhm.
after the New Year. Thank you so much for supporting children and those in your community and your home. We appreciate you. And we have Rita Mani Day. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us here today. Happy New Year, and we love you. And we have Rachel Violet. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us here, Rachel. We highly appreciate you, and Happy New Year. And we love you. And let's go down here. And let's go down. Just making sure. Okay, we have Sir Ashok Kumar. Thank you so much, sir, for your consistency and your respect for Unpassive and Mr. Ash Mufara. We highly respect you. Thank you so much for supporting children. And we have Cheryl. Sherry Bess, how are you, sister? Boy, I finally got on these past few times. I was signed out and had a hard time getting back in. Glad I am back. Hello, everyone. Three. Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting the children, and thank you for being persistent that you must be here, and you did. Thank you so much. And we have Biggie Jurgensen. Thank you so much. Happy New Year and welcome here again. We highly appreciate you all. We have Sir Katik Santra. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. And women empowerment defines building women's sense of self-worth, their dignity, and enables them to carry out social responsibilities. So true. So true. Thank you so much, Shrejit, for that kind of contribution. I highly appreciate you. And that's exactly what it is.
It is.
And let's go down here. And of course, Sister Esther, I hope she wasn't speeding from work to join us here, but she's here. She's safe. We thank God. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to hashtag OGM for another beautiful day. Yes, Esther, thank you. And let's go down. We have our brother Jivan Turkey. How are you, sir? Thank you so much. Happy New Year and welcome. Pretty soon, we'll not be saying Happy New Year anymore. This is February already, but thank you so much for supporting children worldwide. We highly appreciate you. And Shiji says women empowerment is necessary for the progress and development of a society that fosters a more inclusive and prosperous society. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much, Jana. Thank you. We have Nimala Boga. How are you, sister? Hi, ma'am. I am Nimala Hyderabad. Yeah, you're from Hyderabad, India. Thank you so much for joining us. We highly appreciate you. And be sure to subscribe and share and invite other people to attend because we are following in the footprints of Mr. Ash Mufara on Unpassive so that we can reach every child in the world. Thank you so much. And we have our brother, Sir AP Mahusadanan. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us here today. We highly appreciate you. And our love to your beautiful daughters, okay? And let's go down here. Down, down, down. And again, this is our link. Please do well to like and follow. And Sir AP says this is a news that 3% inflation in your country, Dr. Yvonne. 3% inflation. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So,
So are you saying you have not been paying attention?
no, I have. I've been sending money. I'm like, if this money, because inflation, how you know? No, wow, that he himself is paying attention to the global
Oh,
news.
okay, okay,
Yes,
yeah, I
I know it
understand.
because when I send money, especially for the kids program, when you send the money like a dollar is more. That shows that
Yes,
there's
yes,
inflation in
yes,
that
yes,
country. Yes,
yes,
so that's how
yes.
come I know. But what can I do? I have to help those children still.
Yes, you can. Yeah, exactly. Like you were saying earlier, you might notice it, but it can't stop what you're doing.
No, you cannot stop it. You stop it, you don't know tomorrow. A child is crying of hunger, a child is sick, a child doesn't have food to eat. We have to continue no matter what. So
Exactly.
thank you. Thank you so much, Say AP, for paying attention to all of those details. I really
Yes,
highly appreciate that.
that's yeah.
And Rebecca Cafero, how are you, Rebecca? Thank you so much for joining us, sister, from wherever you're joining us from. We highly appreciate you. Do well to subscribe and share and come again and encourage other people to come. Okay. Thank you so much. We love you, and our love goes to your family as well. And we've come to the end here. And goodbye, Rachel, and see you soon. So we've come to the end here. We're going to give the stage to Sister Yvonne to give the closing remarks.
Okay, sister, it's not going to be anything earth shattering. I just want to say there are no excuses now because women have been building these communities in all countries and in all industries, and they start small, grassroots. That's one of the words I mentioned when I was giving my presentation. You don't have to hit the big world stage. Not everybody gets there. Even the examples that sister mentioned here, both sisters, about the first black millionaire, she did not start as a black billionaire. She had to work her way up. It was a small business and then it became. So, whatever your interests are, however you see that you can make an impact in your own community, start now, start today, as Sister Mundih is saying. Don't wait, take action. Do what you can where you are. That is your community, and you never know where it will lead. It might just be the example that somebody else needs to join you. I just love this statistic. 90% of the income that women make in these communities, they reinvest it. This is what builds the resilient communities. 90%,
Mhm.
right? They are really committed. And I mean, it's not $1 million that they're using. It could be $10, but they'll probably be putting back nine and using the rest. You know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
is doable. It is doable. So let's not lose heart, but start
Yep.
where you are.
Yep. Start where you are with the little that you have. Just that thought in your head, that is what it's going to help you
It
to
is.
move on. Let's not just stop and resign our faith to say, I don't have. Yes, you do. You have your voice, you have your eyes,
Yes.
you
Yes.
have, if you don't have your eyes, you have your ears. If you don't
Yeah.
have your ears, you have your legs. There is
Yeah.
always something to be done. You have at least can provide a bottle of water to somebody
Yeah.
that doesn't have the opportunity to have that water. You can
Yeah.
share your meal with somebody. You can
Sure.
share your clothes. You're having about 10 pairs of shoes or this. What for? There are people that you can share those things with. So there is always something, or you can bring your idea. What can we do that
Yeah.
we'll talk about, and then that will lead to resources? There is
Yes.
always, always, always something to be
Always
done.
something.
When you start in your home, in your community, then it will go around. And before you know, every child will get involved. So thank you guys so much
Thank
for
you,
being,
sister.
and thank you, Esther, for joining us
Thank you,
here.
Esther, for making it. We appreciate it.
And thank you, the audience. Keep doing. Let us keep building the momentum from Mr. Ash Mufara, because this is what he would like. This is what is going
Yep.
to really inspire him and push him to do what he says. Either I do it or I die. So let us do
Yep.
that. So thank you guys so much, and
Thank
we'll
you,
see you
everyone.
again
Goodbye.
Friday. If you like, put on some red on Fridays. Happy Valentine's Day. Bye bye. We love you.
Bye, everyone.